if there is anything I have cherished during all this period, is to maintain a very effective and operational relationship with the government of Ethiopia and with its Prime Minister, to the effect that I had many criticisms in the global media about that, accusing me of being biased in favor of the Ethiopian government. So it is with total I would say, in a spirit of complete easiness, that I would like to ask you one thing, Mr. Ambassador. If there is any written document provided by the Ethiopian government to any UN institution about any of the 8 members of the UN that were expelled, I would like to receive a copy of that document, because I have not had any knowledge of any of them, and it would be very useful for me to detect if documents are given to the UN and not given to my knowledge. Then I have to investigate what has happened in my organization. So I ask you, please, Mr. Ambassador, to provide me as a copy of any of the written documents written by the government of Ethiopia about any of the 8 that were expelled by Ethiopia in this regard. And I would recall that twice I told the Prime Minister that if there were concerns about lack of, I'd say, lack of impartiality of the UN staff, that I asked him, please send me those situations for me to be able to investigate. Twice I asked it to the Prime Minister. Until now, I had no response to these requests. And so, for us, the question is very simple. We believe that Ethiopia has not the right to expel these 8 members of the UN. We believe Ethiopia is violating international law in doing so. And we are ready to cooperate with the government of Ethiopia in relation to any situation in which the government of Ethiopia feels that any member of the UN is not behaving in total impartiality, in total independence, as humanitarian law prescribes and humanitarian principles establish. I want to tell you, Mr. Ambassador, we want to cooperate with the government of Ethiopia because we have only one agenda in Ethiopia, and that agenda is the people of Ethiopia. Tigrayans, Amarans, Afaris, Somalis, the people of Ethiopia. The people of Ethiopia is suffering. We have no other interest but to help stop that suffering. Thank you very much.
I thank the Secretary General for his further clarification. The representative of Ethiopia has asked for the floor to make a further statement. I give him the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Secretary General, I hear you loud and clear. I fully understand and realize the support you have given to our people and my government as well. We know where your heart is. You have approached our issue with candidness, with candor, and we highly respect that. As to the asks, I will definitely communicate to the appropriate authorities, and we will, of course, expeditiously, and as I have made it clear in my statement, this is an issue that has to be dealt between the Ethiopia and the United Nations. Whatever document that will be available will be submitted to your office, Your Excellency. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Ethiopia for his statement.
With regard to Ethiopia, we remember last week the Secretary General in the Security Council and the exchange with the permanent representative of Ethiopia, and the Secretary General making it clear that Ethiopia should come up with any evidence that it had against the UN staff, and the Ethiopian permanent representative said they would provide written evidence. What has happened?
We continue not to have any such evidence from the Ethiopian government. We're aware of what they said in the Security Council, and you're aware of what the Secretary General's reply was, and we stand